Ladies and gentlemen, this is the last Under the Wrong Rock Strictly Sports episode with Donald Trump as president.
That it
Joe
is.
Biden will be in office by this time next week. So let's crack our Arnold Palmer's open.
AP, baby.
Cheers to that.
Yep.
And lots of stuff happened this week.
Yeah, busy week.
Coach hirings, trades in the NBA. We'll get to it all. Really, just most of it covering up. Obviously, NFL playoffs, Premier League continuing to heat up. But let's start while we're at it. Obviously, this is strictly sports, but sarcastically strictly sports. As
Sarcasm.
we get away to the game that is politics. And Trump impeached again. Obviously, the fallout from the insurrection from a couple weeks ago. Or last week. Was that last week?
He's now back to, it was last week. Isn't that crazy? I think it was beginning of last week. He's now back. He's back-to-back impeachments.
Back-to-back impeachment champ,
it's
baby.
Not a back-to-back he won.
I don't know what more there is to say about it, but I'm interested
Not
to see what a new
it's nice seeing all these people that rushed to the Capitol getting arrested.
Yeah, including
the swimmer, former Olympic gold medalist,
Cleat something.
I had never heard of the dude.
I recognized his face.
Yes, me too. When they showed pictures,
I think he was in a medley with
relay.
Yeah. So
he was. Did you see he was wearing like a
USA Olympic
tracksuit?
Yeah.
Like, you're an idiot. Oh my god, he should get his medal stripped. He should.
Yeah.
I mean, they stripped Usain Bolt's medal for his teammate who doped.
Yeah.
So they should take his.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I'm sure he was one of the people leading the charge when Colin Kaepernick was. Yeah, I'm using air quotes. You can't see me, unless you're watching YouTube.
We'll be on YouTube again tomorrow.
For those who can see me using air quotes when disrespecting the flag and just in terms of what you represent as an athlete. I think that's pretty low on the standard.
Yeah.
I mentioned it. I don't think he's in the same group necessarily as Ryan Lochte, but there has been this white male swimmers, and you're a white male swimmer yourself, obviously not to the level, you're not an Olympian, but still that's the sport you represent. And I'm sure it's painful at times, especially for a sport like swimming that people only really pay attention to it once every 4 years.
Exactly.
And then you do pay attention to it when it blips up in the news. Ryan Lochte, obviously not to the level that the next two people that I'll say are, but Ryan Lochte, just stupid and racially motivated in a way, in a sense of the negative stereotype, bringing that down on Brazil. We don't have to go into that too much or any of this, but then obviously Brock Turner and now this new guy. It's got to be tough for you as a fan of swimming, and somebody who hopes that young kids can say, I want to be a swimmer when I grow up. But when them and their parents are consuming these kind of bad blips in the news, especially Brock Turner. I mean, that if I was a parent, that just can turn you off completely from the sport.
Yeah, it's annoying because it seems like the only press that swimming has got, especially since 2016, has
since
been
Phelps.
Yeah,
I mean,
really,
Phelps is he's the good news, and I mean, obviously he gets thrown on the bus when he smokes, when the picture came out of him smoking weed, but he's.
But I hate how now that whenever swimming's in the news, it always seems to be because of something bad. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
It's obviously I have no control over it, but it totally tarnishes the sport a little bit. And I mean, I think if you're someone who works at USA Swimming, you got to be pretty upset.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, it's not just a problem. I mean, a lot of Olympic sports have to deal with it. Yeah. It's not just swimming. I mean, it's gymnastics.
But with swimming, because it's like you said, it's really 4 year, it gets its peak.
Yeah.
And every time, it's frustrating.
And just because the optics of swimming is, obviously there is some, privilege needing to be involved, usually with pool time and stuff like that. I mean, if I want to go play basketball, all I need is a court and a ball. And same with soccer. That's the old adage, you need a soccer ball really to kick a soccer ball around.
Yeah.
But, with gymnastics, with swimming, with a lot of these Olympic events, you see them only once every 4 years. And so you need to make sure that what people seeing are good things that get people wanting to make sacrifices for the sport, because there's already going to be a monetary sacrifice.
Yep.
But so I mean, it's interesting. I could talk for hours.
We could talk for a
I
while.
have. I was lucky. I did a project in a class that I was really invested in that was talking about the whiteness of the Winter Olympics.
Yeah.
It's
true.
There's a lot of athletes that
we could
come
spend
out
a whole episode unpacking that.
Yeah, I mean that's not exactly this type of show, but we did tie in a political thing to actual sports.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad press for athletes,
yeah, there you go. Good transition.
The Nets now have a whole hot mess of bad press. A hot mess of bad press.
Nice.
The New Jersey Nets. Oh, that's 2010, man. What am I doing? The Brooklyn Nets. What are your thoughts on Harden to the Nets?
That's kind of frustrating.
Major blockbuster 4-team deal.
Well, I mean, if I'm like a diehard Brooklyn fan, I'm probably kind of upset. Like, cool, you get James Harden, like this great basketball player, but you're also losing the great, I think, team players and Jared Allen and Karis LeVert, players like Karis LeVert especially, who was really playing well last year and coming into this year too, was a great bench player. Jared Allen too. I mean, you got a big three now in Kyrie, KD, and James Harden, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. And I've never been a huge fan of James Harden or his character, to be completely honest. I think it was kind of shitty what he did with Houston. I think he gave up a while ago, if I'm being honest. I think when things weren't working out with Russ at Houston, and then obviously Mike D'Antoni got fired, I think that was it. I think he's kind of given up since. And that's what even DeMarcus Cousins said in the interview. He's like, it wasn't the interview where he said, I'm done. Like, he's been done with this team and this city for a while now, which is just sad.
Well, and the bottom line is, even before he was done, I mean, I live and die by this, and you've heard me say this 1,000 times. Mm-hmm. But for me, if I'm a GM, head coach, owner of a team, whatever it is, I look for winners. That's what I want. I want winners.
He's a sore loser.
And he's a sore loser, and he's a loser. I cannot think of a major win he's had in his career. No, he's hit a couple winners in regular season games. He's had a couple amazing games that has led his team to wins in regular season.
Has he won a gold medal? Maybe.
I mean, winning a gold medal with USA basketball.
Yeah, it's not saying much, but yeah. He really has,
But so maybe he's won a gold medal, which still takes some effort, but
but that's not what he wants.
but I mean, that's a team filled with studs. But I feel like I've never seen him in a situation that I've seen so many other athletes in, where he's saying, I'm going to put this team on my back and we're going to find a way to win this series.
You're right.
Because like you can drop 55 points in a game, but that doesn't win you a game automatically.
No.
It's and that's why, as hate LeBron all you want, but
Team
LeBron
player.
finds a way to. I mean, he finds a way to win.
Yeah.
And you can say he's had all this stuff around him. Yeah, but wins follow him wherever he goes.
Facts. And he makes everyone around him better too.
Yeah, and you even look at the beginning of his career where his team around him was shit, and he made Anderson Varejao look like. Look like an all-star points. And Zydrunas Ilgauskas. Remember when he looked like he was an all-star. Zydrunas Ilgauskas was an all-star. But that's because, a good player does not only make themselves better when the time is called upon, but they continually make everybody around them better. Yeah. And that's why Russell Westbrook didn't work out there. That's why, all these different athletes have cycled through and nobody's worked out. And the stat line is the stat line. That's great. That'll get you an MVP, whatever. But for me, in terms of people that I want on my team, it's always about winning.
Yeah.
And James Harden has not won. Honestly, Kevin Durant has won, but I think Steph Curry and Klay Thompson are more of the winners,
Yeah.
and he joined them.
I'll give KD some credit where
I mean,
he's
he's the least
more,
hated part of that big three, probably.
Yeah. He's more of a winner than Harden is. But yes, no, I completely agree.
Yeah, and then Kyrie, obviously, with LeBron, who I just mentioned, he won, but then he went and just imploded in Boston, and we haven't seen him do that much in Brooklyn, but it hasn't been great what we have seen.
Yeah.
And apparently he kind of went MIA, and he's not supporting. I mean, with James Harden, you get what you get. You kind of know what he's going to do. He's going to go to the strip club, and then he's going to come back and he's going to drop 50. That's fine. Kyrie's kind of a wild card.
Oh, total
and
wild card.
For me as an athlete, like you come into, you come into practice that day, and you don't know if somebody's going to be pissed off or not. It's kind of like
like not 100% there.
Yeah, it like that's the thing where I'm like, okay, I don't know if I can even talk to this person. I don't know what their deal is today, so I'm gonna leave him alone. Where like James Harden, I feel like he's pretty even keel.
Yeah.
He's James Harden.
Yeah.
And so, it's I want to root for at least KD and Kyrie. I kind of want to root for. James Harden.
I just feel like he's just tagging on, like just to. I don't know. Like I still think.
Yeah, and I'm with you 100%. Karis LeVert and Jared Allen are. I love those two, and I remember we saw them in person when we went to that Nuggets Nets game, and they showed up.
Yeah,
and they're fun guys to watch. And the thing is, it's like I'm just saying, that Nets team should not have been winning a lot of games, but they added more wins than they took away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's the case with James Harden, especially if he adds more wins than he takes away.
I don't know.
I think Houston will be better without him this year, but maybe you could chalk that up to his attitude this year.
Yeah.
But especially with this pandemic, and every player has to buy in and make a sacrifice.
Yeah.
And we've seen teams in all different sports get screwed over because they've had outbreaks because everybody hasn't bought in and said, we need to stay 6 feet apart just in case somebody has it off a random thing. And we've seen teams implode. And I mean, the Ravens imploded and they have come back from it continually, but they've had to win every game since like week 13 because of it. It's one of those things. We'll see how it works out this season.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens.
I'm sure Brooklyn strip clubs are having a day because they're about to expand their budgets quite a bit. But
something tells me there are probably better strip clubs in Brooklyn than
Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, you got New York.
It's all speculation,
Yeah, it is all speculation. True.
But I would agree with you.
We don't know what James Harden likes.
I mean, I assume the COVID restrictions, though, at strip clubs are a lot lighter in Houston right now. So maybe he's bummed about that. 6 feet apart from the stripper doesn't seem very fun if you're James Harden.
Doesn't seem like a rule Harden would follow either.
Nah, you've got enough dollar bills. There's no COVID restrictions. Urban Meyer, new head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. He said a few years ago, "I will never coach football again," and now he's coaching football again.
Did they say how much he's getting paid? Because I imagine it's a lot.
I haven't seen that yet. I haven't
either.
But it takes a lot of money to bring him out of retirement.
And that's probably a guarantee that they get. What's his face? Number one.
Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about. I mean, we don't need to talk about college football because what we figured was going to happen.
Bama was Bama.
That's it. Goodbye, college football. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jacksonville could be sick. I mean, we know Urban Meyer's a great coach and Trevor Lawrence is a great quarterback. Is it a turning point for the organization? Too early to tell. But I mean, it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Yeah. I mean, Urban Meyer's a good coach. Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. He's that franchise key.
Yeah.
And the thing is like, I mean, even though his season ended poorly this year with a loss to Ohio State, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, I just talked about it. He's a winner. I think he's a winner.
Yep. So is Urban Meyer, to be honest.
Yeah, he is. I mean, that's the thing. You can argue, all you want, but that's the difference between, the Chargers and the Chiefs this year is like the
Yeah.
Chiefs won a lot of close games down the stretch, but Andy Reid was a winner, and the Chargers, they just couldn't pull it out. And
Yeah.
a win and a loss could be a 3-point win, a 3-point loss, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And the good players get it over the line. Disney Plus back at it again with the series.
Hell yeah. Well, a lot of like kind of Disney Marvel news today. Chris Evans apparently is reprising his role as Captain America.
Cap.
And not sure, and hasn't been obviously announced as what his role is going to be. I'm guessing it's going to be like a Robert Downey Jr. in like a Civil War type scenario where like he's not the main focus, but like he's there.
Yeah.
Which is sick. I mean, he probably got paid a bag for it, and I think he likes playing Captain America, which is sick. But the big news: WandaVision out tomorrow. I've heard early reviews have been pretty good. It's very different from.
They say I've seen weird but good.
Yeah, exactly. And I didn't know this. Like they filmed obviously you've seen the trailers, like all the black and white stuff. They filmed that in front of a studio audience. Like they made it as sitcom-y as possible.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
Weird.
Yeah, exactly. Weird, but
weird.
Also quite good. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's the full season tomorrow. I guess it's just one episode probably, but
yeah,
I'm excited to watch it.
Probably Mandalorian style.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is Disney Plus has stamped all their future franchises with a seal of approval because of Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Mandalorian was kind of their first big splash.
Facts, and they nailed it. And now that expectation is so high.
Yeah. But the expectation's high, but we're going to give every series a chance probably. Or at least it's going to take a lot of failures for us to give up on them. And the fact is, I mean, it's just adding to the canon, and
I can't wait.
Watched a handful of MCU films. If you watched, not even all of the Star Wars films, then you're going to be interested in the series. And it's just spin-off, and money.
Yeah.
So I mean,
keep them coming, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And with Disney Plus, it's nice because there's a portal there where you can watch. If you're like, oh, I like WandaVision, I didn't see Avengers: Age of Ultron though, then you can go back and you can easily watch that, and you can learn about their origins. You can watch, I don't know when they officially hooked up. They kind of hooked up in Civil War, I think.
Oh yes, yeah.
That's because they kind of divorced.
That's okay.
There was tension there, but then we missed the kind of merging.
That's right.
And the Scotland hookups happened in Infinity War.
Yeah, I have no idea where this show fits in the timeline.
I think it's after. I think it's after Endgame, and that's
really?
what confuses me.
What?
Because I think Vision's still dead at the end of Endgame.
Yeah.
Because he died. He didn't get died. He died.
No, he did. He was yeah. His
brain was the Vision Stone was ripped out.
Yeah.
So that's a big confusion point for me, and that's why I'm excited for this because
that's sick. I'm excited.
What's going on?
That's hype. I can't wait.
Yeah. So we'll probably review the first episode. I think we'll both probably watch it.
Yeah.
Sometime in the next week before the next episode. Also, in the next episode, we'll have some knockout action. But first, we need to decide the knockout group.
Yes,
winners.
we do.
And
I don't know. You have looked at the.
So I have the poll results up in front of me. You haven't looked at it since you voted. You probably don't remember anything. And we've received votes since then.
Nice.
So I mean, not a ton, but
but hey, it's
enough.
It's enough.
So for Group A, Lakers, Bayern Munich, Duke men's basketball, Florida Gators.
Okay.
I'm not going to put my money on anything because I'm not allowed to vote for Bayern Munich, even though I probably would add my extra 5% to Bayern Munich, I think, for my first place vote.
Yeah.
So in terms of Group A, is there any clear-cut team that is the clear-cut number one for you that you would add your 5% on?
It's Lakers, Duke, Bayern, and what was the fourth?
And Florida Gators football.
Florida Gators football. Probably not.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Nothing clear-cut's number one for you?
No. I mean, I think it's close between Lakers and Duke, but neither are like really jumping out at me.
Okay, well then I'll tell you the number one.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Pretty clear cut. You couldn't have changed it with your 5%. 47.1% Bayern Munich.
Really? Wow, we got a lot of soccer fans. I love that.
yeah. I mean, you'll see. I looked at some of the results, and there's a fair amount of soccer influence. Okay, this next one.
Yep.
Do you have a clear-cut vote for number 2 for your second place?
Probably Lakers.
Is that your final answer? You're going to give 5% to the Lakers?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd give 5% to the Lakers too, and that they were tied with Duke men's basketball.
Oh.
They each had the exact same number of votes at about 35%.
Okay.
But we both gave it to the Lakers.
Yeah. I'd rather give
I give it to my 5% to the Lakers because they've been successful with 3 different eras. With the Kobe Shaq era, early 2000s. With Kobe Powell, they went back to back. And then now with LeBron, obviously their downs have been tough in the mid 2000s. But I think just the fact that they've been successful with a myriad of stars, it wasn't just one big run.
In one legendary coach.
Yeah. So Lakers will be getting second place in Group A and moving on. Duke men's basketball, Mike Krzyzewski out in the first round. That's a tough group to go against.
Yeah, it is a really tough group.
Obviously, Bayern's dominated the Bundesliga, and they lost a couple days ago.
They did,
so this is their only win this week, I guess. Florida Gators football, just tough. They only got 5.9% of the vote for the first place and 0% of the vote in second place. So, Tim Tebow, sorry, better take that shit back to church and pray about it next time. All right. Group B, first place votes. Obviously, you cannot vote for the Golden State Warriors who are in Group B. I'm not going to vote for any. I mean, I'll add my 5% because I think are the number one here.
Okay.
I can add my 5% to Golden State because I think they're clear cut above UNC men's basketball, the Penguins, and Florida men's basketball.
Yeah.
However, they already got 65% of the vote.
Word.
So the Warriors win Group B.
They're playing. Speaking of the Warriors, they're playing right now. I'm gonna check the score. My mom just texted me. She's watching, and she said shooting sucks. So probably not very good.
Well, too much Andrew Wiggins probably. Yeah,
they're down by 10 early.
We love it. We love that. We love our Klay Thompson-less Golden State Warriors out there, striving to get by. Do you have a clear cut number 2 between the Penguins, UNC men's basketball, Florida men's basketball?
I do not. I don't think so. I mean,
yeah, me neither. I think it's close between Penguins and UNC.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking the same thing.
Florida men's basketball had a couple ships in the late 2000s, but they've been mediocre.
Yeah, I don't want to give my 5% to either really the Penguins or. Yeah, no, especially because the Penguins beat the Sharks in the Stanley Cup a few years back. I mean, Sidney Crosby and the Penguins are sick, but not enough for me to give them the extra 5.
That's also not enough for the voters. UNC men's basketball has they've won second place. So they win Group C with 47% to the 29% of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Golden State got 23%. I think everybody who didn't vote Golden State first pretty much voted them second. Group C, this one, your 5% and my 5% will not change it. So I'm not even going to ask you. Patriots, 60% of the vote. And so the Patriots are through. They win Group C. They were the favorites, and they got it done. Also, none of our votes can change the second place vote. I'm sorry. Your Giants have been eliminated. Yankees, 58%. To San Francisco's 21%.
No. Oh, no.
Yankees.
Tragedy. Oh.
Well, you got Golden State through, so I guess
that's fair.
Yeah. That's tough.
That's really tough.
In terms of Group D, also, we can't change this at all. This is probably one of the biggest clear-cut victories. Alabama, 83% of the first place vote. The Crimson Tide are through first place in Group D. Second place, It's close.
Okay.
It like
Between?
all three teams are close.
Remind me the three. Three
USC
we got
Trojans football,
Okay.
Pittsburgh Steelers, North Dakota State Bison football.
Oh.
Who is your 5% going to? You can just resign. We don't have a tie for the championship, but
Okay.
your 5% will make a difference
Oh.
if you put it in.
There's no
USC, Pittsburgh, North Dakota State.
I don't have an attachment. I don't.
I don't
I'm not
think
particularly drawn to either three of those teams.
Yeah.
I'm not giving my 5.
Resigning it. I think I said last week that I'm gonna stay away from North Dakota State just because I have kind of an FCS love and allegiance to them. So let me tell you, Pittsburgh and North Dakota State tied at 26.3% each.
Oh my gosh!
But USC was at 31.6%.
Wow.
USC.
Wow, that was
through.
a close one. That's crazy.
Yeah. There we love our close second place matchup there. So USC Trojans football,
right.
Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart,
Wow.
Pete Carroll, and then maybe a little blip for Sam
Darnold.
2010. Yeah. None of us can change the first place vote in Group E, and one of our favorite professors at Colorado College, Dr. J, will be happy about this one. Kentucky men's basketball is through. They win.
Doing Dr. J proud.
E. And then there was a tie for second place in Group E, but one of the teams in the tie was Kentucky. They're already through, and none of us can change the second place champion. It's close. Boston Red Sox were 12% behind Man U, but neither of us, even if we both put 10 points into or 5% into Boston Red Sox, they could not catch Manchester United. So Man U is through to the knockout
It's
rounds.
solid second for Man U. I think that's deserved.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see Penn State women's volleyball up there, but they got crushed.
I was gonna say I don't.
They got 16% of the first place vote and
Okay,
6% of the second place vote.
Oh well, not
But people
so bad.
said first place or bust for Penn State volleyball. All right, we got a tie for first place in Group F.
This is a crazy group.
You cannot vote for USA Women's Soccer. I think we both said we cannot vote for USA Women's Soccer because we are Americans. Is there any team, not USA Women's Soccer, that is your clear-cut number one? Or if USA Women's Soccer is your clear-cut number one, then you probably won't vote.
Women's national team, right? Clear-cut number one. I'm not going to vote.
Okay. Then what that does,
Yep.
it is a tie for first place. And since none of us can vote for USA Women's Soccer to push it over, and none of us believe that the San Antonio Spurs, which they're tied with, are Spurs and USA Women's Soccer at 35% apiece.
Wow.
And so basically, there's no official rules to this tournament. I'm kind of just making this up, but to tie break, because none of us are going to or able to tie break.
Yeah.
It will go to who got the most second place votes.
Oh yeah, smart.
And USA Women's Soccer got 53.3% of the second place votes to San Antonio's 20% of the second place votes.
Let's go, ladies.
So USA Women's team will be the number one seed out of the F. Out of Group F, and Spurs will get number 2.
You're losing your Sounders too.
Sounders got bludgeoned. I agree with it. Just because they weren't an MLS franchise till 2009.
Okay.
They've dominated MLS since, but there's still a chance for some MLS representation. I guess
there is.
The Galaxy still being in it. We'll get to them in a second. Let's go to Group G real quick. We got 2 groups remaining. We got some more soccer happening.
This is a big one.
This one ended up. And you will not be able to change the vote. You and I both combined will not be able to change the vote. Group G first place goes to UConn women's basketball team.
Good.
Gino Auriemma, Brianna Stewart. They're locked in.
Deserved.
Group G second place. Neither of us can change this vote.
Damn.
It comes down to El Clasico.
Yeah.
50% to one team, 25% to another team.
I'm guessing 50% to Barcelona. That's my guess.
FC Barcelona,
Yeah.
50%. FC Barca, they lacked the Champions League hardware, I think, that Real Madrid
They
got.
did.
But
I
I
feel
guess
like people like Barcelona more than they like Madrid.
people are letting their fandom get in the way of the facts. Unbelievable. I mean, I'm not aligned to either.
No,
squad,
me neither.
So,
But
but
Madrid did lose today, and I don't know what.
I'm sure that's what people base their vote on. Best dynasty since 2000. Well, Madrid lost today, so. All right, so Barcelona and UConn women's basketball through Group H. Again, we got a clear-cut number one. Nothing you can do to change this, baby. It is the Miami Heat coming in number one, 58.3%. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Chris Bosh even with the shout-out. Jimmy Butler, they led him to the championship. Jimmy Butler led him back to the championship. Tyler Hero.
He's actually been playing pretty well as I think he's been in my flex position for fantasy basketball. He's consistently putting he's a good utility player.
So Heat are the clear-cut number one. Group H.
God, I hope it's not DU.
You cannot change it.
Damn it.
So it's clear. It's a clear-cut second place.
Okay.
Who do you predict it is to finish it off?
Probably DU or Galaxy. I don't know. I feel like not enough people know DU hockey or care about DU hockey, so I'm going to say Galaxy.
This makes me very happy. DU hockey got blasted.
Let's go. Come on.
Only 17% of the first place vote.
That's not bad.
But only 7% of the second place vote. They are not even close. Mount Union football made a run at it for second place. 31% for Mount Union football, but 46% for the Los Angeles Galaxy.
All right. Shout out those Mount Union faithful, though.
Yeah. Purple, I think. They're like
Purple Raiders. Purple Raiders.
Yeah. How about them Purple Raiders? So we'll get this plugged in. We got Bayern Munich, Los Angeles Lakers, Golden State Warriors, UNC men's basketball.
Yep.
Patriots, Yankees, Alabama football, USC football, Kentucky basketball, men's basketball, Manchester United, U.S. women's national soccer team, San Antonio Spurs, UConn women's basketball, FC Barcelona, Miami Heat, and the Los Angeles Galaxy.
Yeah. Those will be up tomorrow.
Yes, those polls will be up tomorrow, and we'll get you the full matchups. And it should be World Cup version where it will be a number one facing a number two.
Yes.
So we'll have it's some semblance of seeding at least. So these next matchups might not be as engaging. Maybe we'll get an upset though.
Who knows? They're going to be tight.
Telling you, trends right now. I'm seeing Lakers, Warriors, Spurs, Heat. I'm pretty sure every NBA team we put is in there, which is interesting because how can you have four dynasties? There's got to be one dynasty above them all,
Yeah.
But that's what we're looking for.
Interesting.
So,
man, this is gonna get so fun once this narrows down a bit.
This is. I wish I had them computed in beforehand, or had some way to compute them in real quick and get matchups. But we'll know next week.
Yes.
The matchups after we.
Correct.
Certify them.
Our 5% are going to start meaning a lot more once this.
And our certification process is not as long as the United States government's certification process. So don't worry about that. We don't have to go to Congress. But it is time for us to go to the 2-minute warning. The shortest 2-minute warning of the year. This one might actually be 2 minutes eventually. But it won't be 2 minutes. Sit right in. If you're driving from Albuquerque to Santa Fe, you're not going to have time to listen to this full podcast. I think it's only an hour drive from Albuquerque to Santa Fe. I just thought of two random towns, but you're not going to. You're going to have to, end the podcast early or put us on 2 times speed or something.
God, that's awful.
Yeah, I can't even listen to myself in half speed sometimes. So,
imagine you laughing at 2 times speed.
Yeah, that's unsubscribe. All right, we got 4 NFL games this weekend. We are down to the Elite 8 of the NFL playoffs. We started off Saturday afternoon on Fox.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams at the Packers. there's not much to be said. There's not much to be said, but because we're talking about the Rams and they beat the Seahawks last week,
fresh wound. Still
it was really rough.
They just didn't play. You guys just didn't play very well. Nothing just seemed to click.
Well, it was the same formula all year, but it's usually like you're trying to light a match or something like that. Yeah. Stick with me on this metaphor.
Okay.
You're trying to light a match, and with the Seahawks, it takes like 2.5 quarters for that to catch finally.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But then it catches fire, and you have fire.
Good. Yeah.
The Seahawks, it was like this game. We were seeing that, and I was holding on because that's what life as a Seahawks fan is like.
Yeah.
You saw some sparks. You saw that nice DK touchdown, and the off. I mean, I never like to criticize my team too much, especially after the season's over, because I think that's a time when we look back at why you're a sports fan and what you enjoyed. And I mean, there were plenty of moments this season for the Seahawks that were enjoyable.
Yeah.
And, ripped my heart out and put my heart back in. And, just all the way back, I remember Cam Newton being stuffed at the one in week 2, I think, or week 2 or 3 on Sunday Night Football.
That was sick.
And that was forever ago, but that was just, just those moments of jubilation and joy. And the Seahawks give you plenty of those, but the match just didn't catch fire. And when it finally looked like it might have caught,
there was 10 seconds left.
There was 10 seconds left in the game, and we needed 2 straight onside recoveries to have a chance. The Seahawks, and the frustrating part is, as we get to this pick, I think the Packers will handle the Rams pretty easily.
Yeah.
While
I think the Seahawks in such a game, though.
I think the Seahawks
it always is.
Well, and it would have been Seahawks Saints. Technically,
really?
because they reseed after each round. But the thing is, I think the Seahawks can give everybody a game. I mean, that Rams loss was their biggest loss of the year, I think. But I don't think the Rams will have a chance. I mean, the Seahawks should not be losing to Jared Goff with a banged up thumb.
Yeah.
They should. They should not.
Like he looked like he was like playing well, and he wasn't really playing that well.
Yeah. So, it's going to be a long offseason in Seattle. There's a lot of questions. We fired our offensive coordinator already, Schottenheimer.
Goddamn.
And so I'm hoping a new OC comes in and has some new ideas for how to keep Russ consistent throughout the year, because there's definitely part of the blame that goes on Russ because he's holding the ball too long consistently.
Yeah.
And
more than
that's
he
a
usually
huge
does.
problem. Yeah, that's a huge problem because the offensive line really started to struggle, but they weren't struggling that early in the game. And then Aaron Donald goes out with an injury, and we go 3 and out 2 times in a row with him off the field.
Like, you have to take advantage there, and they just
That being said, Rams defense played great. Jared Goff, tough guy award for sure. As much as I don't think he's a good quarterback, it was tough to come out against a physical and good playing Seahawks defense. And
showed out.
And he winner. I mean, that's the theme of this episode, I guess.
Which is shocking because he came from fucking Berkeley.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro.
Hey, listen, Marshawn Lynch came from Berkeley.
Hey, that's true.
So
that's true.
Let's put some respect on some of the guys.
And Aaron Rodgers, I guess, too. They're just not winners at Berkeley.
Speaking of Cal quarterbacks, it's the matchup for Cal quarterbacks.
How did I not? Oh, that was the perfect chance for a great Michael transition.
No,
absolutely blew it.
Come on, that's it's right in front of you. Come on,
absolutely blew it.
Number 1 offense versus number 1 defense. I think, and I think a lot of the stats think that way as well. But I don't think. I mean, Aaron Rodgers with a week off, I think he'll be clicking.
Yeah, should be cruising.
Goff's still a little banged up, and the Packers defense is playing just as good as the Seahawks defense, I think.
Yeah.
So I think the Packers should take care of business. There might be a flutter of hope here and there for the Rams, but no way can their offense keep pace with the Packers offense.
Completely agree.
All right. On to the Ravens and the Bills.
I'm
Ravens,
excited about this one.
gritty game against Tennessee. They got it done. Then they stomped all over the logo. I don't know if you saw that. The Ravens,
They did.
They said Tennessee was pretty disrespectful when they played earlier this year. So you could tell they had a chip on their shoulder, and that was fun to watch. Buffalo, however, they're going to get my pick. They're 11-3 in home playoff games in team history. The Bills got it done last week against old Phillip Rivers, and and they're going to get it done this week. I'm feeling Buffalo.
I think it's going to be a shootout. I hope it's a shootout because, I mean, like you said earlier, Ravens been playing well ever since like week 13. I think it's going to be really close though. And I don't know why. I just kind of like the Bills for whatever reason. I just think they're a fun football team to watch because they just move the ball around really well. I'm going to say Bills in a tight one. I hope it's a good game.
Yeah, I mean, they're a gritty team. Their fan base has suffered.
And their fans are just psychos, and it's just kind of fun.
Well, and the thing is they're psychos, but they also have always stuck by the team.
Yeah, and they're not douchebags like Philly fans.
Well, I was just going to bring up Philly fans in the sense of like, just like I was talking about with Seattle. I don't like when the season's over. For me, it's more sadness than anger and frustration.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's moments of like, I wish we would have scored that right there. I wish we would have caught that ball. I wish we would have made that stop.
Yep.
But there are fan bases that as soon as the final clock hits 0, as soon as they do is they go on social media, they tweet at all their players. They say, fuck you. And there's some of that for every organization, but with Philadelphia, that's definitely one of the worst. And I'm sure Pittsburgh got a fair amount of that.
Oh yeah, I believe it.
Because I mean, maybe it's just Pennsylvania. We're not hating on you, Pennsylvania. Yeah. There's enough of hating on Pennsylvania in Congress right now. So
if we're on the Pennsylvania talk, I was having dinner with neighbors last week. This nice couple that lives next door, and we were actually chatting about Philadelphia. We were talking about football and fans because we were watching the Ohio State Alabama game. My neighbor was saying, "It's like I've never been to Philadelphia," but he's like, there's no need to go. Like you can." The only things that are important in Philadelphia that are worth keeping are the Liberty Bell and cheesesteaks.
What about the Rocky Balboa?
I was just about to say, like, you how do you forget the Rocky statue though?
But like the one of the best, like one of the most prized statue is of a guy that didn't exist.
Yeah,
is of a fake Philadelphia guy.
Yeah.
That tells you all you need to know about Philadelphia. I just drove through Philadelphia once. I didn't stop. And I don't want to. So this is not a bash Philadelphia podcast.
No, it's not.
Jesus.
I've had a few
y'all got
cheesesteaks before, and I bet authentic ones probably smack.
You lost me when you threw snowballs at Santa Claus. So that's it.
That's fair.
Andy Reid, 7-0 career record as a head coach versus the Cleveland Browns. Never lost. Andy Reid's never lost the Cleveland Browns.
Uh-huh.
I think he will. This is my upset of the week. Give me Cleveland making it happen versus Kansas City.
I want it to happen. I really do. I just don't.
We didn't give them a chance last week, and they got lucky. That first play, obviously, that was. Yeah. And for me, that instilled a little bit of happiness in me because it made me think about the Super Bowl the Seahawks won, where Manny Ramirez snapped it over Peyton Manning's head to start the game, and you're just like, I don't know how the fuck that happened. I
wasn't even watching. I think I was making dinner. I hadn't even sat down for the game yet. And I saw Austin, our buddy's text. He's like, he texts full cast.
He's already losing his mind.
It's like, fuck me up. And I was like, what happened? Like, how did I miss this? The game just started.
Yeah, I'm on the Cleveland train right now. I'm with. God. I mean, I'm on it for this week because I think Kansas City played horrible to end the season. Yeah, and they got really lucky a lot of times. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that helps or hurts them? Do you think that'll hurt?
I think a week off with downward momentum, not great. Because I don't know. I don't know. I should have picked them last week. I should have said fuck Pittsburgh. We both picked Pittsburgh. I don't know.
Did we actually?
We both picked Pittsburgh. We both were like, no way. And I get and I know why I did it just because it was because Stefanski wasn't the head coach. But if you can win without your head coach in a way like that,
That's
Shit,
fair.
and it's going to be a shootout. I'm excited. It's going to be a shootout because
man,
both these defenses.
It's not like a Premier League. I can say draw. God damn it. I don't know. I mean, because it's obvious like the easy answer is like Chiefs, just because pedigree, what they accomplished last year. But I kind of I see your side of the coin, because obviously Browns have momentum. Chiefs have not played.
And they're playing with the chip on their shoulder.
They are.
I love that.
They're coming.
I love that.
They're gonna bring it to the Chiefs, and I don't know if the Chiefs will be prepared for that. So you know what? Fuck it. I'm going Browns with you.
Well, now I can't beat you on the pick'em this week. Maybe I can.
Yeah, it depends
this next game could be
because actually I have no idea who I'm going to say for this next one.
I already wrote down my pick for the next one.
Okay.
I think I'm going to stick with him. But also Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes head to head.
That's right. We got the Texas Tech Oklahoma matchup, round 2.
That was dude. We get this one. Oh, and Baker Mayfield won that Texas Tech Oklahoma game. He was playing with a lot better team with Oklahoma,
he was.
but you know.
Yeah, it was like a 65, 55 game or something outrageous like that.
Yeah, it was basketball. All right, we both got Cleveland, but who do you got in New Orleans? I got the New Orleans Saints because they've won 5 straight games versus Tampa Bay. They got their number. Sean Payton's a hell of a coach, and they find a way to get it done. I'll tell you what, though. The Bears had a chance to beat them last week on that Nickelodeon game.
I was just going to say, we need to talk about that Nickelodeon stream. That was absolutely outrageous. I watched 5 minutes of it, and I think it took 3 years off my life.
I love the fact that you could hear Cordero Patterson yelling "fuck" in the back.
How did they not think that was going to happen? Come on, really? It was funny, though. I mean, it was humor. I got some great memes out of it.
Well, and the fact that they had the Nickelodeon valuable player, do you see that?
Yeah.
And fucking Mitch Trubisky won.
Yeah. It's weird. Yeah. I mean, that's not, if I'm a kid, that's not how my introduction to football is.
No.
That's not my introduction to football. No,
but it's memeable. It's memeable as fuck. We love that.
It's super memeable. You know what? I'm going against you. I don't know why I have faith in the Buccaneers. Yeah, I don't know. And fuck it. We're going Bucs, baby. We're going to disagree.
All right. Super Bowl picks should be easy because there's a really small scope for it.
It should be.
I picked last week Buffalo, Seattle. Obviously, I cannot pick that this week.
Yes.
I'm going Buffalo.
Okay.
Green Bay.
Ooh. Yeah, that's a good shout. Oh God, I don't want to be unoriginal though.
You just realized you picked Cleveland and KC though. And you're I can't say Cleveland's gonna win and then say KC's my Super Bowl pick.
The pick I've been saying all year. God damn it, Michael.
Well, you can't. You could do that. I don't know rules.
No, I'm gonna agree. I think I'm gonna agree with you.
Either way.
I like. All right. I like. I'm gonna Bills Packers.
So we're both picking Cleveland to find the magic and then not find it. As soon as Austin is like, yes, one game, we beat Josh Allen and it was Buffalo.
One game away. Yep.
All right. I can see it happening.
It'd be so I don't know. I mean, it'd be such a follow-up to 2020 if the Browns get into the Super Bowl.
Well, and the Bills too. I mean, the thing is, Bills too. I mean, if we get Browns, Bills, AFC Conference Championship,
that'd be sick.
I'd be hyped because it's two franchises that have suffered.
Yeah, that have really,
and then we're guaranteed at least a trophy. Maybe it's just an AFC Conference Championship trophy. It's a trophy, and even in there is an achievement for sure. And it'll be and hopefully when it's all over, the fans will enjoy all the moments that got them there, instead of getting on Twitter and bashing Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
There will be some. There always is. All right.
It was a closer to the 2-minute warning. That was like a 10-minute warning. Ish.
Yeah,
not bad.
Close enough. Next week it'll be a 30-second warning.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this one's going to be a little bit long. Stoppage time is up, and we got plenty of fixtures to take us through the Premier League, and a new team on top.
Boo.
Manchester United,
Ooh.
followed by Liverpool. We'll just take a quick look at the table as we're in the midst of clusterfuck nation
let's
here
do it.
with FA Cup, Carabao Cup. We're starting to sniff some champions in Europa League coming back.
We're getting there. Like a month.
About a month.
I can live with that.
But we take a look. Manchester City's in third place. They got a game in hand though that
They're climbing.
They could catch Liverpool, but they could not catch United. United's in they're 3 points clear.
Yeah.
Leicester finds themselves in a Champions League spot still. Right behind them is Everton. Tottenham's on the outside looking in at 6. Southampton, Villa, Chelsea, West Ham, and then we see Arsenal. But Arsenal, it's 8 points between them and 5th place.
Lost opportunity today.
It's 2 points between them and Chelsea. If they would have had a win instead of a draw today,
bummer.
They would have been knotted with Chelsea. Then as we go down the list, Leeds United, that reminds me, and I'm sure I would have mentioned it when we got to Leeds United game. But I started watching their
they're all or nothing.
It's called Take Me Home. But it's really interesting. You should watch it because it's if you liked All or Nothing, it's great fun. And it's narrated by what's his face? Yeah. What's his face?
That guy. Yeah, wow. What a stud.
Gladiator. Who am I thinking of?
Gerard Butler?
No.
Oh.
Gerard Butler is not Gladiator.
Is he 300? I don't. Yeah.
I think he's 300. Russell Crowe.
Okay. Say they're kind of the same. No, they're kind of similar.
Yeah. I mean, and the movies are. I get where your brain went there. But speaking of 2K career mode.
Oh yeah, true.
Russell Crowe was in Gladiator. So is Jimon Hansu, who's in 2K21 career mode.
Which you just started.
Yeah. So
I'm going to probably start this weekend.
We'll talk about that next week, probably, once we get a little bit more into the meat of that. But, that was a really off tangent to get all the way there. But Leeds United, Russell Crowe, God, his voice is nice.
Yeah, good voice.
It real fucks me up. Crystal Palace, 13th. Wolverhampton Wanderers, 14th. Newcastle, 15th. Burnley and Brighton Hove at 16, 17. And then below that red line, Fulham, West Brom.
Shout out Fulham, though. They're climbing. They're really – Scott Parker's pushing that team.
We love to look at their last 5 fixtures. It's draw. Grinding out them draws. It's a point, baby. And at the bottom of the table, a point will help you climb,
Yeah, facts. I mean, points are points.
They
got Chelsea next.
But, and I mean, you take a look at their points, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
Liverpool.
One of them was against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Brighton. Meh.
Yeah.
But Southampton and then Tottenham. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
They're finding a way. They got Chelsea coming up. I'm sure they'll scrape out a draw with Chelsea.
I hope so.
We'll pick it, and this has helped inform me of my pick. I'm already gonna say a draw for that one, but we'll get there. Wolves, West Brom. How you feeling?
Wolves kind of struggled. I mean, they played an okay game against Everton, but they ended up losing that one. But I don't think they'll lose this one. I'm going Wolves over to West Brom boys.
I'm with you. It's not as much of a comment on Wolves as it is West Brom. They're just not good. Wolves will find a way. Up next, we got Leeds, Brighton. Take me home, Leeds. I'm picking Leeds.
I'm going draw because it just screams draw. It'll be like a 3-3 draw.
Okay, you're going with a no defense draw.
Yeah.
Burnley, West Ham. West Ham's above Burnley in the table, I believe.
Yeah.
But these are two teams that sometimes play really fun
or it could be a total dud.
Sometimes they're just like meh.
Yeah.
I'm feeling Burnley though. I'm
going against you. I'm going West Ham. Scrape a late one. A late one.
All right, West Ham. I got Burnley. Fulham, Chelsea. I said it already. Give me a draw, baby.
Oh God, that's the thing. I want to say draw, but then I don't want to believe in Chelsea. But I think this little bit of time off they've had has probably helped a little bit. I mean, who knows what Frank will do to their lineup because whatever he seems to do just never seems to work. But I think they'll scrape one out. I hope. I'm saying Chelsea just because I think Pulisic will get on the score sheet again. It's the only reason.
I think Pulisic will get on the score sheet for Chelsea, but I think Anthony Robinson, is that his name? He plays for Fulham, right? Still?
Is that him? And are you thinking of Callum Robinson?
No,
He
Anthony
plays for
Robinson.
Oh,
American Fulham. Yeah, he's the left back, so he probably won't score usually, but he's going to score this time for Fulham. We're going to get 2 Americans scoring. It's going to be 1-1. Leicester, Southampton, 2 of these teams fighting.
I don't know where. I mean, I gotta say Leicester. I mean, Southampton are strong defensively, but Leicester always seem to find a way, always via Jamie Vardy too. So I think the Leicester will get one late. Might be like a 2-1.
I'm gonna say another draw.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like both these teams want to win really badly, but they also will both refuse to lose because you can't drop points against any team that's not a Big Six team.
That's fair.
Or can't score not any points.
Yeah,
whatever that.
I
know what I'm saying. Everybody can feel me. Sheffield United Spurs. Well, Spurs will probably score early, and then they'll continue to hold the lead. They might hit the post a couple times.
Yep.
They'll be in control for a while, and then they're just going to be like, okay, we're good. 75 minutes, right? 75 minutes after we.
That's how long we play.
Goals don't count after 75 minutes, right? And then Sheffield will find some miracle goal, and then I'm going to cut another, finger off. And
see, if it wasn't Sheffield, I'd say absolutely. But I mean, we're talking about a team that has 5 points in the table right now. I mean, if title contenders Spurs really draw to Sheffield, like, come on, I gotta say.
But then all the other teams at the top of the table are going to do just bad enough to keep title contender Spurs as a title contender.
That's true.
No, I'm with you. Spurs, they'll find a way.
I would love it. Oh my God, it'd make me so happy if Sheffield managed to get a result, whether it's a draw or by some miracle a win. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Listen, I'm just glad they didn't do that against Marine Club. At least they took care of Marine.
I mean, I'll shit on Spurs all the time, but shout out to Spurs supporters for buying all those virtual tickets because it probably helps out a team like that so much.
Yeah, well,
I mean, they're starting like plumbers and car salesmen. That's hilarious.
Yeah, no, I mean that's a great thing. I love the FA Cup. I don't think there's anything in almost any other sport that's like it. I mean, obviously there's similar things in all the other international leagues that have their league cups.
Yeah,
but the FA Cup, I mean, there's so many leagues in British soccer. And just getting the biggest difference
That's
ever. And I mean, the entire salary of their team was probably paid for through all the virtual tickets there.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see.
And even though Marine got absolutely hammered,
yeah,
I mean, you could tell their social media was having a blast. I mean, I'm sure fans had a great time. It's just, it works out for everyone, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So and it was. I mean, I think it got Vinicius, a little bit of his head screwed on straight because he hadn't scored for a long time. So it was good for him to get a hat trick against a plumber. The big one on Sunday: Liverpool and Manchester United.
The big game. This is the big game. Big game of the week.
1 versus 2. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the season that this was 1 versus 2, I would have said, hell no. And then you would have said, who's number 1? I would have said, it's definitely Liverpool. So who the fuck knows? Because I picked Man U to finish 7th, I think, this year. And now they're just wiping their balls all over my face.
I mean, God, I don't know which team I want to lose more. I mean, I honestly think I dislike Man U more than I dislike Liverpool. So, I mean, just based on that alone, I'm going Liverpool here. I think United right now are currently the stronger team. But, I mean, in big games like this, I feel like Liverpool always seem to find a way. I mean, we saw it with Liverpool-Tottenham. I think it's going to be close. I hope it's thing is, I feel like with the big games we've had this year, they've kind of been a couple letdowns.
There's been a lot of
letdowns. I'm really waiting for
the best big game we've had is Spurs beating Man U and Man C. 6-1 and then 2-0.
And those were forever ago, it feels like now.
Yeah.
That we're due for a real banger of a Big Six matchup. I really hope it's like a 3-2 game.
And who you got?
I'm going Liverpool.
I'm going Liverpool as well. And yes, the better form in terms of, looking at the last couple games is Manchester United. However, they've also had a really easy run of games.
They have.
Obviously, like beaten Leeds, they beat Wolves, they beat Aston Villa, and they beat Burnley. Those are teams they should all beat, and none of them were. Leeds was convincing. It was 6-2.
But all the other ones
they were
not
scraping out wins.
Yeah.
And they just scraped out a win against a Burnley team that they should not scrape out a win against.
Yeah.
So they haven't been playing.
And Burnley had chances too, and like late too.
Yeah, and then you take a look at the only game that they drew in their last 5, and that was Leicester. And Leicester's kind of that upper tier non-Big Six team.
Yep.
And so it's. Yes, Manchester United has been on a tear of late, but
this is a big test. I mean, this is if they can win this one convincingly, then I think they're seriously title contenders.
Yeah, then they're away. But I mean, just looking at those past 5 games, I'm also
not
thinking
super telling.
Yeah, and I'm also thinking, they're because if you get a bunch of easy games in a row, you're going to have a stretch where there's going to be some hard games coming up.
Yeah.
And we've look at what they've done against Big Six teams thus far this year. They haven't convinced against Big Six.
Arsenal. I mean,
they lost to Arsenal. They got bludgeoned by Spurs.
Yeah.
They drew with Manchester City.
Yeah.
I think.
They did. It was 0-0.
Yeah. So this is one of those seasons with Big Six teams dropping points against teams they shouldn't be. If you're Manchester City, maybe you get by without really having a convincing win against a Big Six team, which I don't know, but I there's 12 games that you have against those Big Six, or not 12, 5. If you are a Big Six team, you have 10 games against Big Six teams, but that's 30 points that are up for grabs there.
Yeah.
Which is, if you're going to win the league, probably about a third of your points.
Yeah.
If you get them.
And those are games like those are almost must win games essentially.
Yeah. Well, and they're true 6-pointers, really.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're Manchester City, you win this game, you're
United.
6 points clear of Liverpool.
United. You said City again.
Sorry, I'm used to.
But yes, no, absolutely. Yeah, you're 6 points clear
of Liverpool. Yeah, that's great.
And even though City have a game in hand, you're still up 3.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, you're still up. I mean, even if they win that game in hand, then you're up 4.
Still up.
You're up 4.
Oh, shit.
39-35.
That's what, shit. Yeah, this is a really big game for you. Well, this is telling, I think, for the rest of the season.
I think this is the game where Klopp finds a way, Liverpool finds a way.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's what they do.
I just hope it's a banger. I mean, we haven't had a good banger in a while.
That'd be great.
Yeah. Fingers
prime
crossed,
time on Saturday. It'll take us
9:30.
right into the Green Bay Rams game.
Yeah.
So it'll be set up for a good. Sunday. It'll take us right into the Cleveland game, the Cleveland Chiefs game, which we both picked an upset.
What a great Sunday!
It'll be a good one. And then if the Cleveland Chiefs game turns into a blowout, then we can flip it over. Watch Manchester City, Crystal Palace. Well, how you feeling there?
Crystal are. I mean, they played well against Arsenal today. I mean, give them credit. They're defensively pretty strong. They can counter decently well. They had their chances. I think more clear cut than Arsenal had today. But that being said, this City team is playing fast and furious. They're on the rise. They're playing confident, like we know they can play. And they should cruise. I mean, they only beat Brighton 1-0 earlier this week, so not super convincing. But I mean, a win's a win, and momentum is momentum. So I'm saying City.
A dub is a dub. I agree with you. I think they'll get the win, but Crystal Palace will put in a good fight. Speaking of Arsenal, let's go to Arsenal Newcastle at the Emirates in London. What happens?
It took us a while to beat Newcastle last week in the FA Cup. It took us 120 minutes to finally score, but we weren't playing we were playing a decent line. I mean, again, Newcastle kind of sat back, took some of their chances on the counter, made life difficult. But that being said, Arsenal should win this one convincingly. They ended up winning 2-0 in that FA Cup game. But in games like today against Crystal, it showed that we still, even with how good the youngsters are playing, they still need a creative midfielder. I said before stream, like Arsenal have already had 7 goalless games this season, and they only had 7 throughout the entirety of last season. So they need someone creating creating those chances. Definitely didn't happen today. Should happen against Newcastle. A much needed 3 points, and momentum in the right direction. Top half of the table, baby. So Arsenal.
Newcastle, Sheffield.
Yeah.
We were wondering if they would ever win a game.
Yeah.
They did. They beat Newcastle last week.
They did.
And I think Newcastle will be pissed off, and that'll give them enough to draw. Because Arsenal didn't impress me enough today.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I picked Crystal Palace last week to beat Arsenal, actually. And I realized my mistake there was, when there's the disparity, Arsenal will find a way to draw it in the same way Tottenham finds a way to draw it when there's a big disparity.
Yeah, it's fair.
And Newcastle has shown in the past week they can scrape out 90 minutes of a draw with Arsenal. So
apologize for the beeping back there. Someone's got like a dump truck outside. It's like
I kind of faintly heard it.
It sounds like the bombs.
Well, I mean, if there's a dump truck outside, we were just talking about Arsenal, so it was good timing.
Oh my god.
Let's take out the trash and go to Tuesday. West Ham versus West Brom. Whatever. We're going west to West Ham and West Brom.
West to West.
Who you got between the?
I was waiting for you to say. I'm going West.
How is the West going to be won?
The West will be won via Ham. I don't know what else I could have said there. I don't know. Brom versus Ham.
I got the.
What are West Brom? They're not the birds. They're
the Magpies.
The Magpies.
The Magpies are the pigs, the porks.
Magpies or hammers. Do you like bubbles or do you like birds?
I'm going to go bubbles with you.
I'm going bubbles.
All the way. The West will be won by the Hammers. Leicester, Chelsea, big one here.
Yeah, this is a big game.
A little Monday Night Football action since the NFL season is done with their Monday Night Football. Give me this one into my veins. How you feeling, Leicester, Chelsea?
Gotta go Leicester. I just think they'll want it more in the end. Chelsea will get complacent toward the end of the game. They'll give Leicester a little too much space, maybe on the counterattack, and they'll expose them. It won't be pretty, but Leicester will get it done, I think.
I got a draw.
Yeah, that's a good choice. It very draw worthy. I haven't been very draw heavy this week.
You picked one early and you haven't picked one since.
Yeah.
Who knows? You're just not feeling that Fulham draw type way. Man City, Aston Villa. Is there much debate needed for this one?
No, not really. I mean, Villa might give City a run for their money, but no, City should win.
I'm with you on that one. I got City. Let's go to the second game of that day. The other Manchester's team is in London at Craven Cottage. Fuck it, man. Fulham likes to draw. I'm going to say they keep it going and they find a draw against Man U. Fulham, draw champions of the world.
God, I love that. I love that idea, to be honest. But I don't have the balls to say it. I'm going, man, you will scrape one out by a hair. It'll be like a 1-0. Be devastating for Fulham. But
I just love the energy Fulham's playing.
Yeah, this draw energy.
Because it's like
reaping up the table. Point
we
by
don't
point.
have talent, but if we run hard enough, we can find a way to draw Liverpool and Tottenham. Fuck it, and they're if they come out of this week with Chelsea and Man U, and
sick.
If they come out of there with one draw, Yippee Coyote. If they come out of there with two draws,
that'd be huge.
They're champions of London at that point.
There's part of me that wants to root for Fulham just because we've been to their stadium.
And they're Little America.
They are Little America. They got a weird ass stadium too, though.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen, this is where I draw the line with Fulham. When I can't fit
bathroom
straight through the door.
Yeah, the doors are so skinny, bro.
The door, I have to go in sideways through the door because my shoulders
concrete
are too broad.
They were just skinny ass concrete.
But I think they're doing some.
They're doing renovations, I believe. I think on the opposite of where we were sitting.
Yeah. My frustration with Fulham though.
What?
The camera angle on the on the games at Craven Cottage. I don't like it.
I've never noticed.
It's a little bit too high up when they're
really?
on the short side of the camera. It's a little bit too high up, and you're like a little bit over it. It makes me a little queasy.
I'll need to. I haven't noticed that. I'll pay attention next time I
watch them scrape out a draw against Man U and pay attention to the camera.
Okay, I will.
Liverpool, Burnley, how you feeling?
Liverpool. I mean, Nick Pope Nick Pope will probably have a great game just because he'll save probably 100 shots.
Yeah, he'll keep him in it for a while.
He will. Yeah, but Liverpool will probably get it in the end.
If Salah knocks on the door enough, the door's bound to come down eventually. I got Liverpool too. And with that, the next game is Saturday, so we will pick it next week.
Yes, sir.
And that does it for stoppage time, and that does it for most of our stuff.
It's a pretty damn compact episode. Holy shit.
That
might be our short. If we stop talking right now and not just meander like we usually do.
We never stop.
We never know. But that was it's pretty good.
I'm doing my first color commentary gig this week.
That's right.
And I started my new job this week.
Yes, you did.
At North Park University.
Hella hype.
We're
I'm jealous you're working back in sports. I miss that.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to do play-by-play for different sports before, but this week I'll be starting to do the color commentary for basketball, and some other sports will come as more seasons go on. But I'm just excited because I've been an athlete. I've been a fan of all different games.
I miss sport, dude. I miss how much we were talking to Mike about that, who was lucky enough to work CC hockey games last week. I mean, I just miss watching live sports, regardless of what level it is.
Yeah. Well, and and once you get either to the varsity high school level or the college level, I mean, the people that are in it, they're good at it. They're good enough to be starting varsity or at a college playing it. And so it's, sometimes Little League can be a little pound your head against the wall bad. But you're seeing athletes do what they want. And I think I'll be, working at the D3 level, just like, you played at and you worked at and we worked at for the most part, other than some D1 games. But it's but D3, I almost love it more because it's, it's not necessarily unpredictability. Yeah, a lot of unpredictability and just because of the lack of scholarship, I'm not playing to go pro at this. Yeah. I'm not playing with sport. Yeah. You're doing it because you wanted to continue playing and you can tell the real connection with the rest of the team in terms of, there's no, I'm the number one recruit, I'm the hot shot. And there's just a genuineness to the game. Yeah. And I'm sure all these athletes, especially the seniors this year. I mean, I know you're probably communicating with seniors on your swim team that you played with last year. But just knowing the fact that maybe we don't have a season, and just the relief of, okay, we're going to find a way to make a season work. And hopefully everybody will stay happy, healthy, and it'll be competitive and fun and that's all my hope is. But I'm also just hoping that I don't screw up doing color because I've done play-by-play and color's a lot different. And now I'm looked at as the expert when I haven't played an actual competitive basketball game since high school. But luckily I played a lot of pickup basketball last year. So and I led.
Pickup king, don't you dare say about your fucking intramural championships. I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you through the computer.
This is actual stats right here. High school basketball, sophomore year, I led my team in 3-point shooting percentage.
Oh, same here, brother.
I was 3 for 4.
That's like me saying I'm 1 for 5 and in half court shots I've taken during the halftime.
This is real life games. This is real life competitive games. My sophomore year, I was 3 for 4 on 3-point shooting percentage. I was usually whenever I shot a 3, everybody was like, "No!" Oh, okay. I mean, the 4 times I shot it, they were like, "No, okay," for 3 of the times, and then the other time they were like, "Why the fuck did you shoot that?" Yeah. So, but I came in, I was more of like, in hockey, there's kind of like the hitman that comes off the bench to injure people. I was like the basketball version of that. Okay. So I'll have a lot to bring to the color commentary in terms of my in-depth analysis through that lens.
You're gonna have to update the people next week on how your first few games went.
I mean, I'll tell you. I'll give you the link, Mike.
Yeah.
You can listen to just like 10 minutes. And
when are these games?
Well, we got a scrimmage on Sunday. That'll be the first kind of practice for me.
Nice.
So
I'll totally put that on.
It's big stuff. I mean,
that's hype, dude. I cannot wait to find myself hopefully working back in sports once.
It'll be soon enough. And I mean, it's just a blast. Like for me growing up, it was one of my favorite career paths that I always looked at because, at the bottom line, you get paid to watch sports.
Yeah.
And it's stuff that, I mean, I already do at home for free. I pay, you pay a cable bill or whatever to watch sports, but you're going to pay me to sit and talk about sports?
Please, bring it on.
So it's awesome. I hope everybody out there is watching sports, playing sports, if you can do it as healthy as possible.
Yep.
I can't wait to get back in the pickup basketball gym and dunk on some fools because that's what I do. But we hope everybody is going to have a great NFL divisional round weekend.
Hell yeah, baby.
Premier League weekend. New president week.
Yeah.
$2,000 checks coming in the mail soon.
Hopefully the country doesn't burn down.
Yeah. If you live in a state capital, avoid going out for the next week.
Yeah. I mean, if you were going out already, I mean, I've barely left the house at this point. To ski and get food.
Ski, get food. The simple things in life, people.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right. Stay sharp out there, everybody.
That does it from us, baby. Peace.